Hello everyone. I did not plan this at all. This was just unplanned. If you follow me on Instagram, Facebook, you saw my post this morning about a very vivid, disturbing nightmare that I had last night. I can't be quiet about this. My heart won't let me. God won't let me. So here it is. I'm gonna tell you what I saw. So first of all, I pray to you, God, that you put in the words in my mouth that your children need to hear. I pray that you're here with me and with them as they watch this video. So okay, I wrote everything down this morning because I was not going to remember this. So today is July 2nd, 2019. And so I'm gonna start with the dream. Okay, so it started, we were inside like a grocery store or something like that, and the first thing I noticed was a little boy, and he seemed lost. Paying attention, he looked really sad, but there was an older woman who was like following him around and kind of like telling us like, hey, he's lost or whatever, you know, just making a whole big deal out of it. In my dream, I knew that this woman was lying. I knew that this woman was being deceitful, and she was using this boy's pain or this situation for other motives. Like, I knew this in my dream. This woman was a bad woman. She was an evil woman. Then it continued to us like, okay, you know, I think I grabbed the little boy's hand or something, and I was like, come here, baby, like, come with me, let's go. And then I remember we're walking out the store, and I noticed two guys that I remember from school, and I saw them the age that they should be now. Weird, who knows. Anyway, so I saw them and they were good. They were talking to one another, and all of a sudden they just go like, and they look at me. They were no longer them, and they stopped talking. They stopped interacting like normal human beings. So they continued to walk with the crowd, but they scared me. I was like, whoa, like, what's up with them? We were all heading towards some sort of festival. No one really was paying attention to them. I was the one that was kind of like, we were walking and I was kind of like, okay, they're a little creepy, I don't know what's wrong with them. A huge crowd forms, and there was like performers on the stage, you know. And then all of a sudden the DJ or whoever was in charge of the crowd was like, okay guys, we need all women and children to get out of here because we're gonna do a mosh pit for the guys, you know. So then all the men, they're like, yeah, let's do a mosh pit, you know how you guys are, y'all love that shit. Like, okay, this shit's about to get ugly. So I grab as many like kids I grabbed, because my daughter was in there, my husband was there, a lot of people, a lot of you guys were in my dreams. And I asked you guys like, hey, like, let's get out of here, like, don't be in this mosh pit, whatever. Because the boys that I saw at the store that changed, I saw them, they had like knives, they had like yeah, they have like butcher knives and stuff on them. They were hiding them. So these boys had the intentions of entering that mosh pit, and as the chaos began and everybody started like bumping into each other, because you know how mosh pits are. If you don't know what a mosh pit is, if you go to a concert or something, they literally tell all the girls to get the fuck out the way, because men are about to start literally just jumping from side to side, punching each other. Like, literally, it's like chaos in the crowd. That's a mosh pit. These boys, they were in the mosh pit. They were going to be in the mosh pit with the intentions of stabbing and killing as many of you as possible. And I want to emphasize the men part, because there were no women and children in this mosh pit. It was just men. So I was advising everybody, I was telling them like, hey, like, this is not a good idea, get out of this mosh pit, come with me, like, get out of the way, you know. Okay, I saw my brother in the mosh pit, and I told him, I begged him, I said, George, this is gonna get ugly, don't be in this, just come, let's go do something else. And my brother's reply was, he was like so into it, he was like not even looking at me, he was just like, nah, like, I think I want to experience this, I've never been in a mosh pit, like, this is cool, like, chill, everything's cool, I'm gonna just stay. And then I saw another guy which again I haven't seen or heard from in years, elementary years, since I went to BAB. And Myra Diaz, we went to school together. This was your brother, okay? Your brother, I think his name is Carlos. And then you guys are cousins with the other Myra and Leslie. This is your cousin who I dreamt. He pulled out a knife this long and this is what he told me. I told him like, hey, these guys, they have knives on them and they're gonna stab as many of you as you can. And then he goes, oh yeah, like that's normal, I have my knife too. And it was like a foot long knife. And he goes, as long as we don't stab each other past 5 or 6 inches, we won't die. And I was like, estás pendejo, okay? Like you guys are gonna die, you know, you guys are gonna die, a lot of you guys are gonna get stabbed, etc. So anyways, I'm like, all right, fuck it. They didn't want to listen. I did manage to grab a few people who did not want to be in it, and thankfully they did come with me or whatever. So then we walk into some sort of cave. There was like a tent shaped cave, rounded, and it was made out of limestone. You know, limestone is like white, pretty white. It's like a white rock, so that's how I know it was limestone. So then we go into there. It was like nothing but women and kids and some men, my husband included. We were all in there, so we were like, okay, this shit's about to start, like let's just stay in here for our safety. When I have a nightmare, my feelings let me know like this is a nightmare, this is not nothing normal. So then we go in there in the cave. We close the door. It was a solid steel door, it could not be moved. We close it, and then I hear an alarm going off, like a like the thing, I guess, announcing the mosh pit. Yeah, so then the music starts playing, and at first we hear like, you know, the noise of the mosh pit, like guys having fun, like whatever, da 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 da. And then we started hearing less and less people, so you could hear that there was less and less movement as the music continued. And all of a sudden, from inside the tent, we could see bodies hitting the door, and we could see blood like seeping through. I could see bodies being thrown, like I could hear bodies falling to the floor. I could hear bodies slamming on the cave. I could hear everything, and then there was silence. I knew that my brother was in that mosh pit, so I already knew like either he's extremely injured or he's dead, because there's no more noise. I open the door, I look for my brother, and I find him in a white body bag covered in blood, stabbed from head to toe. Now, if you guys know me, you know that my brother suffered a horrific car accident a few years ago, and he almost died. So to see him in that white body bag again was just, it was not okay. So okay, my brother's dead. I didn't have time to cry. I didn't have time to cry because in my dream I knew that another alarm was going to go off, meaning like another wave of deaths. Like as this was happening, God was giving me understanding to understand what was going on. So another wave of death was coming. So I opened the door, and yeah, sure enough, there's bodies everywhere on the field. Like I knew it was gonna happen. I specifically saw my brother, but I also saw the rest of the bodies just laying there in blood, dead. And then I see another crowd of people entering the field. They were pretty much just walking over the bodies, just like whatever, like where's the party at, you know. They were there to party, they were there to have fun. This was like an event, like a Coachella type of event type shit. And I go out, I step out, and I try to tell them like, hey you guys, this is going on. You don't want to be in this festival. Like I want to leave but I can't, but you can stay safe if you come into the cave with us. If you come into this like not asphalt, if you come into this safe, it's like solid, nobody's gonna knock it down, it's not coming down, like come in, you know, don't stay out there. As I was telling them this, I was trying to warn others. Someone from within the cave was trying to loosen up like the bolt, or like trying to leave the door like a little bit loose, with the intentions of whoever was killing people outside, with the intentions of them being able to break through and being able to kill the people that were inside, children included. Like, this is what this evil person wanted. I had to stop talking to everybody that was not listening. I went back inside. I told that person to get the fuck out, or like, either you with me or you against me. What the fuck you doing? Why are you doing this? And then I checked the door. Everything was secure. I'm like, okay, but it's locked. Okay, good. But before I closed the door, at the head of this crowd, I see my best friend Emily. I see my best friend Emily Marino. You guys know her. Her daughter Sophie is best friends with Alina. I see her holding Sophie's hand, and I'm telling her like, oh good, like you're here. I wasn't glad she was there, but I was like, come through, like, you know, Emily, come, like, you trust me, like, come through. And she sometimes when I say something stupid, or somebody says something stupid, or, and my friend, she's so ratchet, you know, so I told her like, come through, like, trust me, this is not lit, this is not what you want. She gave me that, like, that, what the fuck, like, I'm just trying to have fun, like, you know. She gave me that look, Emily, I know that look, you know, that look, that like, is you stupid or what? Like, that look you always give us, like, that's the look you gave me in my dream. Like, just like, como que it was like not a big deal to you, you know, that there was dead people around or whatever. But I looked down at Sophie, and Sophie was looking at me with her arms up, like, you know, hold me. So then I'm like, all right, I'll grab Sophie, you can go have fun, you know. So I grab Sophie, she goes into the cave with us. And that was all the time that I had, because the alarm went off and I had to close the door. If not, then we were going to be in danger as well. I secure the door, I close it. Emily stayed back, still reluctant, like, whatever, you know, that's cool. So I had no choice but to close it. I had no choice. Like, I tried to warn her and tell her, and she didn't want to come in the cave. So then the alarm goes off, but this time there was no music. It was just bodies and blood. They started hitting the tent aggressively and instantly. There was no longer any music, there was no chatter. It was just like, you could feel like there was a war going on outside, or like a massacre or something. The cave was made out of limestone, so the bodies were hitting like the metal door. You could hear like banging and banging, like bodies, and you could see the blood, like, because there was like a tinted window on the door. You couldn't see through it, but you know, when blood hits something, you can still see that there's a reddish tint. So that happened for like another 20 to 30 seconds, and then it was quiet again. So as I noticed that things start to die down, I go outside, you know, I leave everybody closed into the cave, and I'm like, okay, like, I have to go see, I have to do something about this. What the fuck is going on? So then I hear God's voice, and he's like, come here, I need to show you something. I want to say he took me almost like up into the air a little bit. I could see like the field below me. So he shows me something sort of like behind the scenes of some sort of blueprint for a video game website. Okay, so you guys know how if you're gonna build a website or anything, there's like a bunch of coding that goes behind that, right? So he's like, all right, I'm gonna show you like the behind the scenes of this website. It was a video game that you played online. He says the people who are dying, the people who you just saw die, they were all signed up, like they were all subscribed to this video game. Now what this video game was about, I know you guys have seen or maybe heard of certain video games where you can literally like play God and if you wanted to, you can start wars into the video game, or like kill people, like a lot of just really gruesome, dark things. These video games exist, by the way. You can ask anybody. What he was trying to tell me was all of these people at some point in their life signed up for this game online, but what they did not know was that this video game or this website or whatever, when they signed up or subscribed, they were actually selling their soul away. Pretty much got put on a hit list type situation. And so that's why they're dying. And the reason why a lot of you guys in the cave are not dying is because you guys either didn't subscribe or unsubscribed from this game. Like this game was a gruesome game, you know? So exactly what happened in the game, or what was happening in the game, was happening in real life, but people still took it as a game. Like they couldn't get past the fact that everything was a game. So then I'm like, okay, what do I do? I'm reading this from my book, okay? Tell them to unsubscribe. This is not a game. Satan has tricked them into giving consent through this game subscription so that they may die in sin. I'm gonna read that again. Tell them to unsubscribe. This is not a game. Satan has tricked them into giving consent through this subscription so that they may die in sin. I asked them, I was like, okay, so what you're telling me is that if these people, or the people who are still alive, unsubscribe from this game, or like, you know, delete their account or whatever it is, if they disconnect themselves from giving consent to this game, then they can be saved. And he goes, yeah, like that's it. They need to get away from this game. They need to like unsubscribe. That's literally what he told me. Like literally, I'm saying nothing more or less. The reason why you've been safe and sound is because you unsubscribed like not too long ago. And he said, and if you get your friends, if you tell your family to unsubscribe, then nothing will happen to them. This wave of death, this that's happening and will continue to happen, they will be safe from it. But just tell them to unsubscribe. Like that's it. It's that simple. Tell them to unsubscribe. And I was like, all right, cool, I'm gonna do that. And then he told me once they unsubscribe, they will understand that it was a trick, that they were tricked and that they were lied to. They will understand you, they will see the truth, and they will look for me, and I will shelter them, and they won't have to die. And then at that moment, he let me wake up. Because keep in mind, this whole time I was trying to wake up from this dream. I did not want to be there. I have had a thousand dreams of death where I've seen people die. I've seen children die. I've seen gruesome murders. Since I was like 12, I want to say these dreams started when I was 12. Before now, in every dream that I had, I would die. And like my friends, my family, they would all there. Like we would all suffer together, versus this dream where I was protected and I was safe. I woke up, first of all, scared, because I was like, what the fuck did I just see? You can rewind this video and like watch, you know, the nightmare over again, but what I got from this dream, let's do that. Let's trace back to like, so I can explain how I am interpreting this dream. So we started inside the store, right? There was a little boy that was lost, and this woman was manipulating him to manipulate us. To me, this little boy represents innocence, it represents ignorance, it represents like being gullible, you know? That's what that little boy represented in my dream and how I see it. And the woman who was manipulating this boy, to me, I could say that it was maybe like Satan or whatever, but I honestly don't think so. I feel like that woman, because God presented that woman as a female, was like the, I guess, like the deadly sin of lust and sexual distortion. To me, I believe that is like one of the main things that keep you from God, because it kept me from God for a very long time. So this is how I know. I can feel it in my heart. Okay, so then the two boys that I saw as men or whatever, like the ones that started this whole mess, like men in general, I want to say they were almost like possessed. I don't know. To me, those men were disconnected from their spirituality, and they were disconnected from God, making them perfect vehicles for evil, for death, for sin. They were perfect vehicles for Satan to do his dirty job. And men, I'm gonna tell you right now in case nobody's told you, men are far more disconnected spiritually from God than women are. That's why we're so sensitive. So watch yourself. Don't give in to anger, and do what the fuck you gotta do so you don't lose that touch with God, because men more than ever are easier to fall. Men are easier to fall. Tell your daddy, tell your uncle, tell your brother, tell your cousin. And a lot of times you're not gonna want to hear that shit. So if anything, if they don't want to listen, cool. Their blood will not be on your hands. But you did your job and you told them. Pray for them. Pray for them, pray for them. Don't get tired of praying. Camp for the festival to me represented the party that's always going on earth. You know, we're always looking for a good time. We're always looking to have fun. Regardless of what's going on in the world, that's where we are at today. And like I said, the mosh pit represented to me the way that men are reckless. Y'all love all this reckless shit. Violence to y'all nowadays is nothing. It's normal, etc., etc. Please don't give in to anger. Don't give in to these don't get seduced by the world in short terms, okay? And the reason I think why I dreamt my brother is because, not only because I loved him, yes, but my brother, he has changed a lot from how he was, but he still has a big hurdle to overcome. And if he doesn't, it kills me to say this, but he's not gonna make it. And George, if you're watching this, I love you. You're upstairs right now. I will have a separate conversation with you about this. But just like it's my brother, it could be your brother, it could be your husband, it could be your dad. Horrible. I love you. I don't want anything to happen to you. And then when the guy pulled out the knife and he was like, oh, you know, this is not gonna happen. They won't kill them as long as it's like 5 or 6 inches. It does not matter how far you get stabbed. You're gonna die, or you're gonna suffer some type of real injury, you know? So to me, that represented how much we are underestimating the threat that is at hand. It's rather to be safe than sorry. And I know this is not the case, but I would much rather I would love to end up looking stupid and crazy at the end than people not having listened to my warning, you know? The shelter, the cave, it was made out of limestone, and it was so clear, so different, that I was like, what is this? This is kind of cool, but not really. This is not from our time. And I decided to Google the cave in which God was buried. Not God, well, yeah, he was God, but and was buried, and where he resurrected from. I will show you. It was the exact same cave that we were hiding in. It was the exact same cave. I will show you right now. It looked exactly like this, minus the steel door. There we go. That was the cave. Something like that. So then after I saw the cave, I was like, you know, I'm reaching, whatever. I looked to see what it was made out of, and the cave in which Jesus died and resurrected from is made out of limestone. It's made out of limestone. That was God in my dream, and he gave me every detail, every single detail, for a reason. That cave to me represents God's protection. And who did he send to this world to protect us? His son. His son was there with us inside the cave, even though I didn't notice. Like that's him. That was what he represented, you know? That cave represented life after death, that type of protection. That was him. And there's no doubt in my mind that that was where we were at. And everybody that didn't want to go in died. So I'm not sure why I dreamt you, Emily. I'm not sure, but you do. You know why. I don't. I really don't, but you know why. You're smart as fuck, and I love you, and I hope that whatever it is that's holding you back, whatever it is, I pray for you. I'm gonna keep praying for you, but I know you're gonna be okay, and I love you. As we move on to the website, when he shows me the website and he's like, you know, this is what's going on, okay? So the website, to me, he kind of told me like, people thought that this website was harmless, you know? So to me, that website represented your choice of sin. I'm gonna just be super blunt, and I want you guys to understand that I'm being blunt with you because I owe it to you. You deserve somebody to be honest and truthful to you. If you don't believe it after this, if you don't want to hear it, that's on you. Your blood will not be on my hands, period. The reason why he showed it to me like that was because we underestimate our sins, and we think that as far as we don't kill anyone, as long as we're not like these evil psychopaths, that we're gonna be okay. We're not. We're not. What he wanted me to tell you guys was to obey him at that moment where he told us, unsubscribe, look for me, and I will protect you. But it was our disobedience and your disobedience that let you be deceived by that website. It is my disobedience, it is our disobedience that we are allowing ourselves to be deceived by minimizing our sins. Sure, we might not be a murderer, or we might not be this evil witch or something, but God intended us to be a certain way, and the way that we're going is not that way. It is not. So it's not enough to try to be a good person. He specifically asked me to ask you, unsubscribe, which means drop that sin. It's easier said than done, but it has to happen. It has to happen, because if you don't unsubscribe, you will never see the truth. You will never be able to have a contrast from the life you're living to the life that God wants you. Give it a try. Give it a try so you can see that this is not worth it. This is not what God wants from you. In fact, this lifestyle is going to be the death of you. And I can sit here and tell you bluntly and blatantly, because I believe this to be true. I am a sane person. If you guys know me, you know I'm not crazy. I'm not on no drugs anymore. So, moving on. He told me that by you guys leaving that shit behind, your eyes will be open. You will know the truth. This is something that I'm scared of, that you guys will not see this as truth. If you unsubscribe, he will open your eyes and you will see the truth, and you will be saved. Because once you know the truth, don't you think you would act on it, on the truth? You will live by the truth. You will act on it. And the truth is God, and God, period. And his son, like his son is the one who came down to show us how it's done in human form. And that's it, you guys. The reason why I made this was because after a long time of being with the shits, I'm not gonna say what kind of shits. After a long time, I am so happy to say that I'm finally on the right path. completely and wholeheartedly. And even though this stuff does scare me, I no longer live in fear. I know that God forbid something happens, I will be okay regardless. My family, my husband, my daughter will be okay because I'm no longer taking them through the fire. We are walking in light, and we are, thank God, hopefully we stay like this, walking in a straight line. So take this as serious as a heart attack. This is not meant to be entertaining. I'm not even wearing makeup. This is not meant to get a lot of views. Like, I'm not, I hope it does, you know, but this is not for clout. I'm not trying to get attention. Warn others. Be honest with yourself. And if this video bothers you, it's not bothering you, it's bothering your demons, and you're letting them win, and you deserve better. You're stronger than that. You are a child of God. You were meant for a bigger purpose. And I'm going to be praying for you guys. Pray for each other. Help one another. I love you. And with that, I'm out.